Hey guys, now that you've finished your logo, we're going to take a look at what it takes for you to design a visual to advertise for that company for your logo. So there are 6 principles of visual design that people generally use when they're creating graphic art for advertisements. So the first thing you really need to consider is how do you want the audience to scan your page? So there are 2 main types of page scanning patterns that advertisers will use. There's the F pattern, which makes the textual elements of the page arranged in a way that resembles the letter F. That way the reader can scan down the left side of the page looking for the interesting parts of what it is that you have to say, or have it go across to the right and find that interesting element. So it really goes along with how we read, going from left to right and then from top down. So the F or E pattern is what is commonly used, since that is what we're most accustomed to when we read. The other pattern, the Z pattern, is what a lot of web pages will use, because it's a quick way for the eye to scan going from left to right, zigzags down to the bottom left corner, and then going from left to right again from the bottom. So here are some examples so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with these 2 patterns. So over here, you can see that these web pages have all of the information heavy over here on the left-hand side, and then it goes across. Same over here. So the red portions are the sections that are the key elements of interest for the reader. You can kind of see how it resembles an F shape over there, and then the blue elements are the lighter or less interesting elements. Here is a web or a poster advertisement that has the sale part at the top. That's the biggest element, and then lesser elements following down below, and you can kind of see this F shape here. Here's the Z pattern. So this would be a web page. So it just gives you the basic elements of it. You would have the main logo over here, some links to your page here. Scroll down to where main image is. There's some information going along this way here. And then this is an actual Axe advertisement that they used that had incorporated the Z pattern. So you have your image of your logo over here, then a key little phrase goes down, and you've got some information about it. There's your company right there, and then some contact information. So you really need to consider the layout of your page design when you're creating your advertisements. The next thing to consider is what's going to grab the audience's attention. So because our eyes will pop at something that's big, right, in this example here, cracking is going to draw the eye before any of this other information that's over here. So this is just an ad for a theater group, and they made a bold statement, something that really pops right there in the front, and then other information along here. So you can think about that, having something really big to grab your reader's eye first. The third thing to think about is arranging your space and maybe adding some texture to it. So some of those principles of graphic design can be incorporated with your advertisement. So sometimes the page is laid out where there's lots of white space or negative space, so that you can organize the important elements for the reader to focus on. So if it's kind of scattered all over the place, it's hard for the audience to figure out what is the main thing that they need to focus on. They'll get bored, and then they won't look at it for very long. So you want to minimalize sometimes with your content so that your audience can focus on just the key parts. Something else that's very important is deciding what font you want to use. So using the right font helps set the mood for your advertisement, but you don't want to just think about the letter style. You also want to think about how bold the lettering is, the color of it, whether you italicize or make it bold or minimal. So just using the lettering here and kind of changing the format so you have, this is a little lighter part of it. These are more bold, so these factors will jump out at you more. But also look at how some parts use capital letters and some use lowercase. So you can decide what kind of font style you want, but also when to use capitalization and lowercase letters to make something pop out to your audience. All right, color is incredibly important for advertisements because that's going to set the mood for what you want to have your company or the brand associated with the audience. So here are some common associations with these colors. So if you use purple, a lot of times people will associate purple with wisdom or wealth, royalty, power, luxury, magic. It can create a powerful, calm, or strengthening mood to your elements. Blue is associated with depth, stability, wisdom, trust, and confidence. Can also help create a calming mood. Green, because it's associated with growth and health and harmony, nature, can help with creating a calm or refreshing mood. Yellow can be associated with being very energetic, happy, and warm, really grabs the attention. But you have to be careful because it could give an aggravated mood, depending on the shade of yellow, could also give a joyful mood. Orange is associated with enthusiasm, heat, success, creativity, and it can create a warmth or excited mood. Red could be used to associate passion, energy, strength, love, power, determination. You know, with February, using red and white together for Valentine's Day, those work really well. But you do have to be careful because you don't want red to create an angry mood unless that's what you're going for. But with Valentine's Day, probably isn't what you're looking for. White is seen as purity, light, clean, sterile, innocent, spacious, but you have to be careful because that could also create a cold and unfriendly mood. Black is sometimes associated with power, mystery, elegance, evil, mourning, and death. Kind of a dichotomy there. But the mood you could create with black is confidence, calm, stable, mysterious. So you have to really be careful with your color palettes and what you choose to use because the wrong color could backfire on your advertisement. Something else to consider is when you put colors together, they really work well, but sometimes they will, if you put the wrong colors together, then you get a little chaos in there. So we have different color palettes. The warm, bright colors, when they are used together correctly, include beige, yellow, orange, pink, and red. So these give a sense of courage and energy. They could enlarge objects and make them seem closer. But because it is kind of bright, you do want to limit how much you use of them. Otherwise, it could be overpowering, especially those pinks and reds. Cold, bright colors like lavender, silver, and azure add subtlety to your final image. They can add some freshness to it as well. They are used to create a sense of modernization and professionalism, and they're really harmonious colors that can give you a nice professional composed look with your final advertisement. A lot of service websites like health, cosmetics, and medicine, they will use these colors within their advertisements. Now, cold, dark colors such as violet, blue, turquoise, darker green, and navy, These give you the sense of stability and quality. They're often used with other colors, so they're not the main color scheme, that they're more of an emphasis. These are used for business websites because they give the idea of ambition and hard work. So a lot of government, science, automotive, and computer products will use these color schemes. You might have noticed them when you were looking at different logos. A lot of car companies will use these color schemes. The warm dark colors are gold, purple, and brown. These are used if you want a classic feel or something more traditional. If you have luxury items or relaxation, these colors help to promote that feeling. They blend well if you have elegant designs. You can mix these with the cold colors to get you a more modern or novel feel. A lot of finance, consulting, architects, and crafting sites will use these color schemes. The neutral colors, white, grayscale, black, those help bring out all the other colors thanks to contrast. So they don't really have their own message. They're more to complement all those other colors. All right, the last principle that we're going to look at is direction. So how you decide to format your page and lay out everything is going to determine the overall feel of your advertisement. Lots of times if you do it in a conventional way with lots of vertical and horizontal lines, it's kind of rigid. So sometimes it's fun to break from that rigidity and use some curves or diagonal, and that helps things stand out a little bit and pop. So over here on this example, they decided to put the font kind of in a curve. It's not really rigid. It's for a paint company. You see that down here. So this is nice and horizontal, but over here they wanted this to kind of stand out. So they changed it from being perfectly horizontal or vertical and kind of having that curve to the whole fonts there. So lots of things to consider. Just make sure that your final piece is going to be something that is pleasing to the eye. So now that it's time for you to work on your assignment, your goal is to continue to expand your skills using Illustrator and of course incorporating those basic principles and elements and create some advertisement. So this could be for an existing company or an imaginary company. I want you to use that logo that you created for Badge 4 and then decide of some product that you're trying to sell for the company, or maybe you're just advertising the company itself. Decide what medium you want for your advertisement. Is it going to be a flyer, a poster, billboard, magazine ad, web page? What's it going to be? So the goal is to create some type of advertisement that's going to appeal and draw business for the company. So to earn the badge after you've created it, make sure you take a screenshot of your final image, turn that into Canvas, and then I want you to give me a short description of what it was that you created. Don't assume I'm naturally going to be able to tell what it is. Which one of the main design formats from this video did you choose to use? What is it that you're trying to advertise? What design elements and principles did you make sure you incorporated in your final advertisement? And what do you like or don't like about your final image? So turn all of that into Canvas and you will earn badge number 5.